If you haven't noticed, Johnny was very wise in designing this program, because I'm actually the missing link between the previous panel and this one. Because I'm way over my retirement age. I've never been busier in my life. The notion of leisure time is quite strange to me. So maybe I'm an exception that proves the rule. So thank you for this distinguished panel that we have assembled here to discuss the future. Our target date is 2030, only 5 years down the road, not much time for sure when we talk about technology. And before jumping into the subject, I would like to ask the members of the panel to introduce themselves and their business so we know who they are. Dory, you're first.
Hi, Dory, CEO and founder of Global Peel. We are a compliance SaaS platform. It's runs for 6 years now, operating in Israel only. Previously, about 30 years career in the insurance industry, 9 years out of that as CEO.
Hey everyone, I'm Noga. I'm a VP for Teammates Fintech. Teammates is a venture group. We are managing more than $1 billion in assets under management across cyber, data, AI, and Fintech and digital health. We have our foundry model where we partnering leading entrepreneurs and together with them going to the ideation journey and invest the seed. At the same time, we have a VC that invests across all these domains, seed and A. I'm VP for the Fintech Foundry, as I mentioned, and this is one of my favorite founders, yeah. So, Or, take it away.
Hi, my name is Kapelinsky. I'm a co-founder and CEO of 46. I think a member of the Fintech community in Israel for quite a long time already. Lately, I joined 46 as a CEO, an extremely interesting startup that was Teammate is leading for a couple of years now. 46 are building an AI-powered customer-to-cash platform, which deals with a very, very interesting market of B2B wholesale exporters. A $25 trillion business that is just booming from many reasons, but mainly from digitalization, agentic payments, and new age of digital wholesalers. What we do for these SMEs, which are great in marketing and sales and great in sourcing and manufacturing, we're helping them with the plumbing of many bottlenecks in the way they sell and they actually cash their funds up to their bank account. What is interesting in this startup is mainly because it's an Israeli-born startup that managed to penetrate and focus in China, building an actual business in China with office in Shenzhen, and a lot of customers that are genuine Chinese, and expanding across APAC and US as well. So a very interesting future for this startup, dealing with a very interesting problem.
Hello everyone, my name is Gilbert. I'm a managing partner of TLV Ventures. It's a venture capital fund established in 2018 and mainly focused about insurtech, insurance technologies, although we do other kind of investments, but most of them are insurance related. We have about $500 million assets under management. We invest in Israel, Europe, and United States. We did some nice exits with Hippo Insurance, Next Insurance, both Israeli-related companies, Corvus Insurance, which is an American company operating in the space of cyber security insurance. And I think we are one of the few VCs that are mainly focused on insurance. In Israel, of course, no other VC in Israel operate almost completely on insurance technologies, but also worldwide. There are companies, of course, firms that invest in insurance, but we believe that we are one of the few that focus on that space completely, almost completely. Before establishing the fund, I served 26 years in the Israeli Defense Forces in 8200, technology positions. I was the Chief Technology Officer of the unit for about 10 years in the space of data analytics, cloud, and cybersecurity.
Thank you. So you already realize that we have here a very experienced and talented group, and if you would ask each of them to give a 2 hours lecture on what will happen in 2030, they'll do it easily. And that's why we challenge them to pick only one vertical, one area in which they believe the most meaningful revolution will happen, of course relating to what they do today. So, lady first.
Me first? Okay. So for me, I think because we are dealing with a compliance solution, and our compliance solution is complex and includes several services already. Of course, some of the clients might say today, or some of the competitors, or maybe some others, whoever, that anyone now can produce an agent that will replace one or even more of the services that we are doing. For instance, we are giving a very good service of regulatory data updates and regulatory databases that we develop. So, for instance, you can now write an agent that will give you updates on any change in the regulation of the regulator in whatever regulator you want, and you can write an agent that will do this, and you will get the updates from this agent. But the problem is that you don't need this only from this regulator. The information is in others, so you would need to be accurate and build the agent exactly to the needs of the specific compliance. And then, so I'm giving you an example of, this is going to be quite complex. So to get updates from the regulator sends updates anyway. You don't need an agent for this. But you need, in order to have it accurate and to have a UI access to ask AI questions and get an accurate answers based on the database only that is valid. This is a difficulty because in the web there is a lot of regulation data. The some of this is not enforced, is not in place, was replaced, cancelled, whatever. So yes, you can write agents that will develop specific tools for yourself, but whether you can get a total solution and where you're going to get the solution, I believe it's still going to be SaaS platforms like us, because you don't need only this service, you also need a work plan, you need reminders, tasks, whatever, so you need a solution. And so, but what I think is going to happen, and it starts now, is that companies like us can use AI agents to service the clients in addition to the platform. So what we can do now is sell platform with the service, because we can now give services very easily with less HR. So our expense on HR will be much less. We will take professionals. This is what I'm doing now. I'm taking compliance experts and I'm teaching them how to work on the platform and how to service clients on the platform. So if a compliance outsourcing would they give 40 hours and the client will need to pay for 40 hours. Now he pays for the platform and maybe only 10 hours because the rest the platform is doing and the client does himself. And it's technical, so anybody can do it. Because the platform already includes the data that require that once only the compliance outsourcer had. So this is what it gives us. It gives us tools to do more quickly, more accurately, and give more services with less HR to wider our solution. I would think this is one of the directions the SaaS companies will take. It's interesting. I think this is one of the reasons they say that the employment market will change, because some of the people, yes, they will be replaced by platforms. Some of them will be internal platforms, and some of them will be outsourcing platforms that will be sold to organizations. So I believe this is, for us, this is a big opportunity. We just launched our new website. We're operating only in Israel, but I think it's worldwide. Of course, I'm following globally. So we just launched our new website because our message is now we have a great platform and great regulatory data. Do you have a team? So take our platform and work less hours and be more accurate and less exposed. You don't have a team, we'll do everything for you on a platform, and once you feel independent enough, take the platform and continue yourself. So the modular options that you can give a client, which me as a CEO of insurance company, my prayer was not to be dependable on my compliance officer and to access the information and understand also what's going on in my compliance program. So for me, this is a dream come true. So I'm now working to fulfill this dream for clients.
Thank you.
So,
yes, Noga.
Cool. Is it working?
not yet. Yes.
Perfect. So I want to take a bit of a different approach. I think we are facing a revolution in terms of the experience that AI creates. I think all of us have experienced previous revolutions like the mobile and then the social, and now we're in the middle of the AI advising revolution. So I think all of you have experienced that. The experiences of going, searching, scrolling, looking for something are gone. Everything now is about conversational experience. And I think that in 5 years from now, we will see it more and more. So for example, think about the travel agent. For now, you're going to Booking, search for an hotel, and then building the itinerary, and then going to find flights, and you don't have the suitable flights, so you need to build it all over again. You go, you buy travel insurance, then you are in Paris, you have problem, you need to delay your flight. All of that can be solved in a phenomenal user experience today, where an AI agent can really do it for you. You know, with a simple prompt of help me plan my summer vacation with my son. You know what we love, you know what we've done last year. Help me plan it and book it for me, and an agent can help you doing so. So I think that we will see more and more from these experiences, also with Fintech, obviously. I think that just yesterday we saw OpenAI launching Atlas, their AI browser, and they gave a similar but more simple example of a woman that wants to go to the beach with her kids, and now the agent helped her buy the bag and the sunscreen, everything she needs now to go to the beach with her kids. So I think that the experiences will be disrupted.
Thanks. So where Fintech is going to be in 5 years, I think that we need to look a little bit back in order to understand the future. So if we're looking back at Fintech, it started with maybe 4 or 3 pillars of innovation. Starting with digitalization, I'm old enough to...
I'm not sure.
I am. No.
Everything is relative.
Digital onboarding, when companies manage to do a digital onboarding, right? So you can open an account without going to the branch. This was Fintech. Remember? This was Fintech. Then came regulators and they took some units from the bank, services from the bank, and unbundled it into lighter regulations. E-money, payment, credit. This was the second wave. With the first wave and the second wave, there was the new fintechs, right? The new payment providers. And then came maybe the third wave of global or companies that took the UX UI to the next level. We always speak about Revolut as an example of a digital first bank that actually they understood that this just lipstick on a pig with a lighter regulation will not be enough. We build it from scratch and open a completely new experience. I think that now we we are going to look at the future where fintech is challenged, by the way, and we need to provide or think about creating a new value for a specific vertical and segment in the world. This is why I joined Forensics. Why? Because you can embed everything today. You can embed payments, you can embed finance, you can embed insurance, you can embed a loan, you can assemble everything, like more or less what Apple did with the iPhone. Right? They didn't invent the iPhone. They just assembled very good chips and experienced into a new mobile. I think that this is what we need to think about fintech. How we are embedding the right thing in the right time with the right agent and the right experience to build a completely new value for a specific segment. And this is where every entrepreneur, I think, should look at 5 years from now. If you just had a great conversation with a partner and teammate. If you are not thinking today what you couldn't do 3 years ago, it's better that you will not start. And this is 2030 in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with most of the things, and I want to come back to that. But before that, I want to propose like a bolder point of view. Okay, so I recall that in 2018, I was in France airport with my partner, and we saw this autonomous bus in the airport. Autonomous bus in the airport, and I told my friend, we live in a magnificent time, right, when we see these changes. And now it's 7 years later, I think we couldn't imagine where we will be in that time. And I think that today we live in interesting times, okay? And the next like 20 years will be amazing in that, almost impossible to imagine, impossible to imagine. I do want to offer some point of views on that. Obviously we see Gen AI and agentic AI, and we can visualize maybe some of the opportunities, but there are many obstacles also for companies, for example, to embrace that technology. I like to look beyond the challenges, okay? Because I believe that eventually technology will almost win everything. If it has value, it will overcome the challenges. So I look beyond challenges of adopting the technology and maybe people a little bit resisting to change and embracing those technologies, etc. Beyond that, and I see different kind of companies, okay, especially for insurance companies, for example, which are heavily based on manpower, okay? Autonomous companies that can automate processes using Gen AI, using agentic capabilities, and providing these services seamlessly integrated into my experience outside of the office, in the street, in my car, etc. So that kind of services I see beyond the challenges that we can discuss. And the challenges are aligned within the next 5 years. So if I look within the 5 years, I see only challenges. Beyond the 5 years, I see the opportunities, okay? Technology is more mature. New companies are born around new technology and around new culture and around new kind of services, beyond the technology challenges of embracing it. The autonomous companies, I think if I look at the insurance companies, it's like 180 degrees change, okay? Other companies are maybe more with greater opportunities or potential to use their technologies in the shorter time. But insurance companies will need to do a greater road with that. With insurance, I see a very interesting but well-known technology that has great potential. I don't know about fintech, but I look at drone technology, okay, with great opportunity to change everyday's life, okay? I don't know about fintech eventually, but with insurance, great opportunities around claims management, claims assessment, risk management, preventive maintenance of huge fields of windmills, etc., okay? You can think about delivery services. Think about 10 years from now, there will be no food delivery on the street. It will be via drones. Okay, straight to my house, straight to my garden. Drones have so much capabilities, I believe, for almost every aspect of our life. I'll give you just one. I don't know how much you're familiar, but drone technology changed, it's a little bit close to that, changed the landscape of warfare, okay, of warfare. And what Israel did with drone technology and Ukraine is doing with drone technology is almost unbelievable. Now, the great opportunity, to my opinion, is the integration of technologies, okay? Think about 10 years from now, agentic AI capabilities built into drones, okay? Autonomous drones that can operate and they can decide for themselves how to maneuver within the city, etc. Okay, and agentic AI built into other kind of services. And I think that the convergence and integration of these kind of technologies will create new products that will change the life of everyone.
Thank you. Keep the mic, we'll reverse the order now. For a quick question, which was intrigued by Mori's comments, we talked about HR, and there is ongoing debate all over the place about how will AI affect the labor force. Will there be less people employed, needing less people to be busy with creating value, or the other way around? Maybe it will create new opportunities and new jobs. What is your take on that?
So just yesterday, I saw a letter of the CEO of Amazon, which announced to the whole company, they have like 1.2 million employees around the world, that in the next few years they are going to embrace AI and automation based on AI and save like eventually like 500,000 jobs. And that created a storm within the company, okay, because everyone is trying to think now, if I'm within the 500 or the less 700. And there is an interesting, there was an article on the market about analyzing that aspect. You can read it, you can look for it, it's very interesting. And they, so I'm bringing that opinion in a way, the author, mentioned that as an employee, as a person, eventually you need to embrace the change. Not in the way that, not because of the fear of being fired, but evolving with new value and create tools for yourself that you can create value for the company. But companies, on the other hand, don't need to convey the message of we are going to operational efficiency, save costs, and eventually reduce jobs. Okay, but give the opportunity for employees to evolve and find new ways of creating value for the company. So it's an HR approach, which I love very much. But as I said, I think it will always be a challenge eventually. Eventually, these technologies create operational efficiency, and companies would like to save jobs, but they will be more, I think, maybe successful in the road if they decide not to look for the cost saving, but creating new user experience. Okay? So if I'm an insurance company, don't always using AI look on the saving of man labor, but how you create new experience for a customer. Faster claims processing, faster quote, etc. It's a proactive support, etc. Okay. Eventually, your company will be more efficient, and over time you will save cost. So that's the approach. But mainly, eventually, I think that the greater change will be with the younger generation. My kids, it's like using ChatGPT. It's an inherent capability now. So we have like a mutual account on OpenAI, right? and I see their queries, prompts. Their prompts. It's amazing. It's like a day-to-day. So my son loves to play poker, and he chats with the GPT on strategies, etc. They will bring the change, like any other thing.
Oh.
I can relate, by the way, but I can tell you from a CEO perspective, and I'm recruiting now. We just spoke with Noga before, and it's very interesting because the same journey that Fintech is I think, passed. It's also the way I'm looking now at recruiting new employees to the company. And I will give an example that we just discussed. I'm now recruiting a back office position. 3 years ago, when I was looking for a back office, I was looking for a very diligent persona with an understanding of underwriting, a little bit compliance, maybe with a legal background. Today I'm looking for someone who passed industrial engineering and an ability to do the same jobs, but when doing it, already thinking about how I can use a tool to automate it. So just a perspective from a CEO point of view. So to your question, I think yes, we will have less positions because numbers will definitely go. But I think that the main challenge, mainly for also to my children, that I have small children, is which type of employee you want to be in your future. What do you want to learn when you go to university, and how you will learn yourself to ask questions and but also be proactive. Also for engineering, I see it in my company now. Usually, developer was very good when they can do fast work and work very well with the product, with the sales. But today, engineer he needs to be a business. He needs to understand the business. He needs to ask very crucial questions about why do I code this? Because coding is irrelevant now. It's irrelevant. The question is, are you asking the right question to the product or the salesman or the sales that told you I need this feature? So I think that the main revolution will be which type of employees are we growing. Numbers will be lower, for sure, but the type is totally different.
Noga?
Yeah. I'm thinking about it from a philosophical point of view. And, I think that when you push people to the edge, so companies will be more efficient and we will see layoffs in the short term. But when you get pushed to the edge, you find something, right? So I think that maybe companies will be more efficient, but at the end of the day, the global value that the world is creating, the global economy, will grow exponentially. Because people won't be without jobs, right? They will be pushed to the edge, they will build new businesses, they will find something else to do, they will keep up with the pace, they will be more, they will contribute to the economy. So I think that at the end of the day, from a philosophical point of view, the world will be a better place.
I agree with everything with all that's said here. I think maybe this is time to connect to the previous panel that was, because I think it's also a matter of age. And what you said, Gilbert, about next year is going to be tough. I think for above 45 age, so 10, 15 years going to be tough, because the one that will adjust and will be able to make the changes might be working until the age of retirement, but some will not. And yes, it's of course it makes sense that more young people will manage to adapt to the change if they are not there yet, and will do it. So definitely there will be less employees, and I think those is going to be better of age. And as we all expect, the retirement age will go down, I think.
I heard the other day someone saying, of course not too seriously, that the Chinese have proven themselves again very wise. because 30 years ago they limited the birth rate. So there will be less people in the workforce because they knew that AI is coming and less people will be needed in the world. So another way of looking at it. We haven't touched on something that I think also meaningful, and this is the power of computing. We were talking about how the existing or foreseen power will be used, but one probably big leap is quantum computing, which Israel is also trying to enter this world. And what do you think how will it affect when we'll have such tremendous computer power? Maybe we'll start with you, Gilbert. You are maybe closer to the subject than others.
Yeah, but I have a short answer. I don't see, the great influence on our day-to-day life. Obviously not in the next 5 years, maybe in the next 10 years, okay? Because it will start with, when it comes to kind of a maturity in terms of technology and computing power, it will be only accessed by great companies. So less on the the consumer side, day-to-day services. So I don't see great aspect of that. Okay. So there is the encryption challenge, let's say, and many people are afraid about encryption data that may be now accessed by malicious parties. So that is one domain, okay? The cybersecurity, the data privacy domain is one challenge, needs to be fixed. And financial companies, and companies that are heavily based on customer data, private customer data, will need to address that. But in terms of how it affects our life, I don't see much of that in the coming years. We can maybe see more around companies that use heavy computer power in terms of creating more sophisticated models, more AI with more AI models based on huge data, etc. So in that terms, I don't see much change in our day-to-day aspect.
I must say that I really don't have a lot to contribute in this aspect.
You don't have to.
My wife said that I don't even know how to switch a light in the house. So quantum computing for me it's beyond my borders.
Here too. Maybe we can skip to the next.
I think talking about the future is as problematic as it is. Now you ask also about quantum computers, you lost me.
Yes, I think we are almost out of time. Any questions from the brave audience here? If not, we'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for this fantastic panel. And we hope for more better news in the near future. And thank you, Johnny, for putting all this together.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much to our esteemed panel. It's a shame that there's not more people here to enjoy the gems that these guys have shared.